possible. Dang, my head's big on the screen. Man. So we're going to do another Q&A. So if you're new to our channel, these Q&As are just an informal chance to come into our channel where I can answer questions. A lot of times, almost all the time, I fish every day. I'm live and I'm behind poles and I'm busy fishing, and I chat the best I can, but I really can't answer questions more directly. So these Q&As, when you see that thumbnail up there, that is for anyone who's got any type of fishing, typically fishing questions. If they're new to the sport or they're interested in catching different species, we are multi-species anglers. We do fish for freshwater and saltwater. Hey, Bulk, welcome, welcome. One of my OG member right there, Bulkinator. So I'm going to hang out. We'll see if people come in with questions. If not, I did prepare some stuff to discuss. I am personally going to be fishing live, weather dependent, tomorrow for crappie and perch. So I've brushed up on my crappie and perch knowledge, and that's what I'm going to talk about. But I'll give it like 5-10 minutes for people to come in. And I would rather answer questions y'all have rather than just talking to the camera. Like I said before, I'm not an expert. Hey, Jimmy. I guess I am an expert, but I don't like to consider myself an expert. I'm not going to be like, know everything. But we're trying to create a community here where if I don't know something, somebody in chat will. Like Jimmy's another local angler, Bulk's from Australia. We have a really good community here. So we're going to chill, hang out, and hopefully be able to answer any questions you have. Hey, Pickles, welcome in. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, we fished for trout today. We caught 5 trout, all in the first 50 minutes. I put the timestamps on the live if you all wanted to check that out. But I guess we got 2 to 3 inches of rain coming tomorrow. So we've got a little leak issue in our basement. It's been a lot better. I've done some work down here. We've made it a lot better. And my wife has like a system she's good at rigging up with different buckets and stuff. So I'm hoping to get out to the lake, but it's like a 40-minute drive tomorrow. I do have some worms. I don't really feel like buying minnows, so I'm just gonna make do with some lures. Hey, Rod, welcome in, buddy. But I guess we'll start talking about perch, but interrupt me if you got any type of questions. Somebody comes in with questions, interrupt me and we'll answer them. So these are the guys we're after, yellow perch. That's one of the fish that we're going to talk about tonight. I just have this Fishes of Pennsylvania book. Pretty helpful though. They've got the vertical bars on them. They like deep water of lakes, reservoirs, open water on large streams. They get up to about 16 inches. They get up to about 4 pounds. World records I don't know if it still holds, but the world record was 4 pounds, 3 ounces on the Delaware River in New Jersey in 1865. I don't know if that's been beat since the book that I use for my info, but I should probably do that just so somebody doesn't say that I'm misusing information. I've been fishing my whole life, but I still use this book right here, guys. This is my source for a lot of this information. Before I pass on bad information, I fact check myself on all these Q&A lives on what I'm about to cover. So yeah, they get up to about 4 pounds. As far as food, minnows, worms, jigs, and spinners. We're going to take a lot more in-depth view in a minute of yellow perch. They, as far as eating, you can't really beat yellow perch. They taste like walleye, and most people will tell you like walleye is some of the best tasting fish you can eat. Rod has retracted a statement, which makes me curious, makes me really want to go tap message retracted. Let me see what he did. Let me see. Come on, it's not going to show me. Nope, doesn't let me see. All right, we'll just ignore that. I like to give Rod a hard time because he likes to give me a hard time when I'm fishing live. Cold here. It was really warm today. It's been around the freezing mark. We still have some ice, but today was like mid 40s, upper 40s. It was really mild. All right, so just for the sake of people rewatching, I want to make sure my info is accurate. So I took notes. I always take notes to try to come prepared. Yellow perch, it's a cool water fish. So that's a good fish to target this time of year. I live in Pennsylvania, United States. They like the mid 60s to low 70s. That's like where they're feeding the heaviest. But unlike a lot of fish, perch will feed. Ron loves me 2 times. It was a duplicate message. Thank you, Pickles. I appreciate that. I need to keep my tabs on Rod at all times. Georgia, welcome in, buddy. So yeah, unlike a lot of fish that kind of shut off in the winter, like channel cats, largemouth bass kind of taper off. A lot of the fish, flatheads gone. A lot of the fish that I tend to fish for in the summer kind of disappear and don't feed real heavy. Yellow perch come on pretty good. They're ideal 60 to 70s, but they do feed all year. They spawn at ice out. So, early spring, late winter. The magic number is 45 degrees. When the water temp hits 45 degrees, that's what triggers the spawn. Perch feed, and I'm going to kind of compare this because for me at least, when I'm fishing for perch, I'm usually also fishing for crappie, but there's a few big differences between the two. Mandy's Candy, welcome in, welcome in. Appreciate you guys coming in. Perch feed on or near the bottom. That's a big difference from crappie. Crappie tend to feed in the middle of the column, and they feed up. You almost never catch a crappie off the bottom. Yeah, it happens, but if you're targeting, they're usually not feeding off the bottom. A perch will often feed off the bottom. The tidal river, channel cats feed great in the winter. I don't have any luck around here for them in the winter. They tend to shut off in the ponds, but maybe the river systems are a little bit different down there. How about like even by where I fish, Jimmy, like up towards like the art museum area, just above the tidal water. I feel like they slow down greatly. I've caught them in February, but and maybe it's just because we don't catch that many when we're out all night. We catch mostly flatties. So if I were to go out 6 hours in the summer, I might catch 2 channels and 5 flatties. And maybe I go out in the winter and maybe if I spend 7 hours, maybe I only catch the 2 channels. So, maybe they are still biting and it's just like in your head because you're expecting 7 fish and all you caught were 2 fish, but they're the 2 channels. I don't know. If you don't carry a thermometer with you, what's the best way to figure out the water temp? Sometimes they're posted on bodies of water. It's tough. Obviously, there's different levels of the water column. So, like even with a thermometer, all you're measuring is the surface temp anyway. Some electronics have that technology. Fish finders have that technology built into them. You may not know that, and I am not a gadget guy. And that's because I want everybody to get into fishing like I did. We never had high tech stuff. I've always grew up out fishing the people around me, thanks to my dad and everybody who taught me. We never understood half this stuff. It definitely helps, but I don't want to get all nerd crazy on it. You don't really need to know exactly what temp it is. Just have an idea. It's fall and the ice is out. So ice is out, obviously 32 degrees is the freezing point in Fahrenheit. So early spring, 45 degrees, be right back, hopefully. All right, hopefully you'll be right back. Jimmy said the tidal squeakle is more channel now blue catfish from what I found in the deep water, whereas I find most fish. I'm often a fishing finder. Nothing wrong with that, Pickles. So yeah, yellow perch spawn when the water temp hits 45 degrees, and they lay a jelly-like band of eggs that stick to rocks and plants, whatever is laying around. They have a ton of babies. Their babies benefit other fish. For around me, it's usually going to be bass, but pike, walleye, they all eat baby perch. Like I said, perch feed on or near the bottom, and perch feed only during the day. I say only, yeah, you might catch one at night. So, if you're going to tell me that you caught one at night, I get it. So have I. But they usually feed in the middle of the day. So for me, if somebody goes live 10 to 2, they're on my radar this time of year. World record, 4 pounds, 3 ounces, Delaware River, New Jersey, 1865. Paul, cheers. What's going on, brother? Steve, what's going on? Have you ever tried one of them cast from the bank fish finders? I have not, man. No, I have not. They'll sell you the whole world. Unless somebody shows up and like proves it and like, I'm like, oh, I need one of those. I have not. I do have a fish finder on my boat. I'm not going to act like I don't. I mean, I even have an underwater camera. I never use it. Like, what am I going to do? Sit there on a live, ignore you guys for 40 minutes while I get the thing working in one spot and then move to another spot? It's just not worth it where I fish. Yellow perch, fall and winter. This is something that I found is true. A lot of these things, I read the chapters and I note down what I find to be true. Doesn't mean it's going to be true everywhere. It could just be one of those things where it's true for my area. But a lot of times when I'm fishing lakes, around here we have the freeze thaw. Sometimes we don't even have good ice ever, during the winter. But most fish you catch on the edge of the ice into the water, or even in the water where the spring's coming in. Perch aren't like that. Perch, especially where you can get on the ice, if there's ice and open water, they'll almost always be under the ice in my experience. Crappie, they'll be out in the open right on that line or into the spring. Trout, same thing. Bass, same thing. But perch, they love the ice. They go under that ice. We caught like 15 perch in one night here in Georgia. First time ever. Awesome. They took out that 1800s record because it bummed the people out. So yeah, that's based on this book, like I said earlier in the live. So yeah, I do learn a lot on YouTube, and here I am talking on a live on YouTube. But I'm going to tell you guys, there's a lot of bad information out there. There's a lot of hearsay, like, oh, I did this once or I did that once. And I'm not an elitist, and I don't like elitists. But these books and the magazines for that front, or, for that matter, if you want to learn about something, go to one of those books, and I try to get that information to you. And that's why I fact check my information with these books, because there's a lot of bad info out there. So, and each area is a little bit different. But if you really want to become a better angler, a better hunter for that matter, go to some of the books that have research behind them and not just because somebody said it on YouTube. I'm going to say it on YouTube, but I'm still telling you go to a book. But I do fact check all my stuff. Let's see what else we got. Midday feeders, I said that. They're not as affected by cold fronts. So, they're a good perch. Perch are a good species to go after when you got that cold front. You're like, nothing's going to be good today. Maybe, rig up for perch. As far as the gear, it's real simple. I use basically my trout stuff. They love live bait. I throw, if I'm going to throw live bait, I'm going to throw a worm, probably on one of my trout magnet jigs, but like a size 4 to 6 hook, split shot or a jig head to get it down, again, on the bottom. And you can let it sit. You can jig it. They are notorious soft biters, though. So if you're going to sit it, you better keep an eye on it. What I'm going to do tomorrow is I'll probably have one rod out. Steve said I prefer book information over social. Absolutely, because like I underline everything, right? That's how I learn. I read and I underline. Somebody's talking and it's done. You don't know what they really meant by it. You can't go back and like really fact check it. I like books. What are the best uses, lures or live bait? For perch, I like live bait better. You can catch them on, trout magnets, anything that imitates a minnow. But I usually like things that imitate worms. And the reason being is tomorrow I'm going to throw one rod out for perch, knowing that I can sit that rod down. For crappie, it's a lot harder to catch something with a rod that's sat. You need to be jigging. You need to be moving for the crappie, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Basically, they're feeding up. They're chasing fish. So you don't have a fish just laying there, right? Unless you want to throw a minnow out under a bobber, but you better be paying attention. As far as the gear for perch, size 4 to 6 hook. So like a trout hook, basically. Split shot, something to get it down with a jig head. The line is typically like 4 to 6 pounds. I'll be throwing my 2-pound fluoro tomorrow. That's basically it for me on perch. They're excellent ice fishing fish. So if you're looking for something to catch under the ice, perch are awesome during the winter around here. Hey, Will, welcome in. Jimmy says, I found perch tend to eat more lures in the pink color range and gold colors. I fish maybe 3 or 4 spots for perch, and I slam them on just straight up anything imitating a worm. So you know how I am. I throw the trout magnet. Talking to you guys all know what I throw. My regulars all know what I throw. But like this is a trout magnet, right? What I'll do, my bag. I take these mouse tails, and I like the pinks and the orange, and sometimes the cream color. But I'll take those. I'll show you right now what I do. Either a mouse tail or a Berkeley power worm. Right. I know you're going to tell me that there's Berkeley power worms. I don't have to do this. I decapitate it. You're going to laugh and say it's not necessary, but I do it. And then I put it on the trout magnet jig. Any jig head. A lot of my jigs here. Here's my jigs, all different sizes, weights, you know. A lot of them are made, almost all of those are Dave from Double Hook Angling. And that's what I do if I'm going to jig it around. Now, if you're going to sit this thing out there, you better throw a real worm on it if you can. Steve, I'm throwing 2-pound fluorocarbon, and that's only because I use that rod to go after wilds and native trout. Otherwise, I'd go to 4 or 6 for perch. They're definitely not as picky as trout are, in my opinion. Yeah, I've heard that over and over again, that perch eyeballs are supposed to be great bait. Before the internet, when I was a kid, I don't want to talk too much about this because I probably don't have the heart to do this now, but yeah, I used to cut sunfish eyes out and use them for bait and catch other sunfish when I was down at the local pond with all the boys. pretty savage, I know, but I have hey, Brad, hey, TC's in here. I thought you said regards to Spanish. I have a very important question in regards to panfish. Why your brim so straight? Brim hater, man. Some of these guys are just brim haters in here. What do we got here? Georgia Times. I've been fishing in Georgia my whole life, but never caught a perch till this year. What's up with that? Well, they're stocked in the South, but I don't believe they're supposed to be in the South. Let me show you something. Let me enlighten you. Here's the map, right? Look at Georgia. Georgia's got like a dot of blue in it. You ain't supposed to got perch. You ain't supposed to have perch in Georgia. Somebody done stocked them in there. Enjoy them. Snug Tea. Welcome in. I don't know you. I don't think I know you, but welcome into the stream. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're good. We're talking to any questions you guys have on fishing, ask. If you guys ain't talking, I'm going to keep talking about perch and crappie because that's what I'm fishing for tomorrow. There's Dylan, Wild Japan. What's going on? Skeeter, welcome in. Skeeter's new here again. Jimmy says, I use 4-pound Seagar. Seagar is awesome line. You'd be down in that rich shop. I know where you're going, Jimmy. You're going down there in Norristown. Those guys, they got some nice stuff in that store. You know where I'm shopping. I'm shopping Walmart or my buddy Pearson's up the road. I found 1 3/4 pound test before, and that was fun for trout. Better make sure your drag's working. Bend that brim, son. Snugster, welcome in, Snugster. So that's like a backup account. Awesome. Um, Huntington Creek is great for perch, Paul says. He's blowing out his own spots. Dave Garchar, welcome in, welcome in. Wow, you got snowed on. Wild Japan got snow in Japan. Interesting. I never really think of snow in Japan, but I guess that's my own American ignorance. First video I ever watched of Dylan was climbing some pretty big mountains. So I know they got mountains over there. Paul, Kettle Creek sounds awesome. I don't know what I'm doing this weekend yet. You're killing me, Brad. You're not young enough to use all these. He turns 50 and all of a sudden he's trying to use these abbreviations. LOL, honestly, JMOP. When I ice fish perch in March, they will hit tiny cut bait on a tiny bait. I'm guessing tiny jig. We don't even buy worms. I swear that is where the idea comes from. Probably. What we do is we break off pieces of nightcrawler because I'm glad you said that because that reminds me when we throw a worm on, we miss bite after bite and they keep stripping the worm. So we make them really short and basically feed them on like I just did that fake worm. I'll feed them on like that and they'll hardly hang out the back. It saves worms when they're, not all of us have the money that Brad has to go throwing around. We don't drive Cadillac boats. But if we have, we're paying $8 for worms, we're going to like cut them into little pieces. So that's a good point, Brad, that you brought up. You don't need a big, huge worm. Yeah, we actually use a lot of sabiki rigs too. And when we use sabikis, we use cut bait and we'll catch perch just as much as we'll catch crappie on those. Do perch school in weeds? If so, how do you weed proof your setup? For perch, I'm usually vertical jigging pickles. They will school in weeds. I'm not an expert when it comes to chasing perch, so I'm not going to pretend I am. I fish perch usually when nothing else is biting, and I fish those in bank fishing situations under bridges where a lake feeds into like a backwater area, where a dam pours out into a creek, in front of a dam. I'm not going out in my boat to search out perch. That would be something you want to read on because yes, they do, but it depends on the time of year. Like fall, I target them in fall because I know they come into the shallows in fall, right? So this time of year is late fall, early winter. They're still in the shallows area. They haven't gone super deep again. Like in summer, they kind of tend to go out real deep and I can't access them. So a lot of my knowledge is coming from an area where I'm bank fishing for them in late fall, winter. You go out in July, you might not find them. But I know there's creeks where I can go out and catch them all year round easily. Snows like heck in Japan. I know. I wish I didn't say it, Paul. I know. I'm suddenly starting to remember all the history of yeah. I'm joking, Brad. I like to give Brad a hard time. We get along good. He gives me a hard time. I give him a hard time. I'm joking. Paul is turning 43 on Monday. So Paul being a member of my channel, you need to tell me where I'm fishing because we fish where our members want us to fish on birthdays. So we fished Valley Forge for Myra a couple, I guess it was this past Monday. We went down and chased wild browns in Valley Forge National Park. I loved it. I don't know if the live was any good. That was probably my favorite live I've ever done. Gave you all a history lesson on the park. I'm a Norristown grad, so I did the best I could with an education. But I showed you around Valley Forge, George Washington's territory, where he had the troops from 77 to 78, and then went down to the creek that runs through that park and caught some wild browns. I loved it. PA Outdoors, yeah, Snugster, we actually fished together. We have a collab we did a couple weeks ago. We fished up in Lehigh, Pennsylvania together on the canal system. Awesome guy, awesome guy. They go out, PA Outdoors couple. It's him and her. Ryan's her name. They travel all the local places. They do camping. They'll go fishing. But yeah, awesome channel. Alaskan Assassin, welcome in, welcome in. Snow is not common where Dylan is. Okay, in Japan. I don't have my dad's 2000. Yeah, Brad, I'm giving Brad a hard time because he paid $8 for worms and caught Percy the Perch with it. Uh, we've all been there. That's why it's funny. We have a good time here in our community. Jimmy says, I collect my own night crawlers. I go out in the rain at night and get them. I have around 10 dozen of them in my bait fridge. Awesome. It just hasn't rained in months here. It is now, but it's a little cold. But yeah, I guess if it's going to rain like that tomorrow, maybe I need to go out, Jimmy. I actually have some videos on how to catch them. That's actually worth watching because some simple tricks, like when you're shining the light on a night crawler, as soon as you hit them with the beam of light, they're going to take off. So what you want to do is you kind of want to shine off of them and just have them on the edge of the light so that you can barely see them. And then when you're like within reach and you hit them with the light so you can see them better, you want to take your thumb, because what they're going to do is they're going to go into the hole they crawled out of. They're going to go down that hole. You want to put your thumb on the worm and in the hole, right? And then you take your other hand, you grab the night crawler, but instead of pulling them straight out of the hole, they'll rip in half. You want to pull along the ground because like this could look bad. I better not do that. But they're going to go down in the hole and they're going to hook a 90-degree turn. So if you're pulling them straight up, it's a 90-degree turn. You want to pull them along the side and let them slide on out. It works. Trust me. I read about it. I tried it night and day. It works really good. And night crawlers, they need 55 degrees or colder, so you got to keep them in the fridge. Red wigglers, they can go warm, but the night crawlers like cold water or cold weather. Skeeter, I'm hoping you get some thaws, but you know, that ice never thaws as fast as you think it does. Like where I was fishing today, I had to take a few casts to show you guys it was still ice. It looked all water. So I threw my lure up there so you could see it just sitting there. That's what Steve was talking about in your live, Skeeter. It looked like it was water. And so I'm like, nah, that's not really water. It's water on top of ice. So the reason I'm not casting over there is because it's all ice. Georgia Times, there should be, Georgia is asking how to become a member. Memberships are as low as 99 cents a month. You get in on the Member Mondays. You get the cool emojis and all that junk. But we do a lot of member-only content. We got a lot of videos and shorts out there. I put posts up there often just to the members. But yeah, Member Monday is an awesome day that we try to have panels and bring people up. There should be a join button somewhere. I'm vertical, so I'm not sure where it appears on a vertical live. But I know when if you go to my channel and you go to any of the videos, there's a join button. If you go to the top, there's a join button. That's all you need to do. When you hit join, it won't make you join automatically. You won't automatically be charged or anything. You'll just see the perks and the benefit levels. We have 3 different levels, 3 different prices, but they're as low as 99 cents. Skeeter wants me to come up there and fish what he calls the glory hole. The glory hole is going to be frozen solid, Skeeter. I am not fishing the glory hole unless it's more than 4 inches. That doesn't sound good either. If it's more than 4 inches thick of ice at the glory hole, call me up, Skeeter. I'll be there, buddy. You and Alexander and Kev is my favorite. That's my buddy Don and his son Alexander. I'll have to get him to come out more. Alexander's a trip, man. That kid's a trip. He's a lot like Iowa. That kid is riding his bike like 20 miles already. He's a legit rider. Hey, Slab, welcome in. I'm new here, so please talk slowly so I can understand you. That Pennsylvania accent is tough to follow. So Slab's from Central PA, so they're a little slow out there. He doesn't realize he's been here before, so let's be nice to Slab. Hope your appointment went well, buddy. Mandy's Candy, collect my own night crawlers. Yep, I do, but this summer has been rough. Tim likes to fish and hunt. Awesome member right there. What's going on, buddy? We covered perch. I'm going to go to crappie soon, but let me get caught up here. I picked night crawlers from the bait shop in Minnesota for many years. I swear back to prove it. Yeah. Skeeter, flatheads seem to definitely die off in the winter. I personally, where I target channels in the lakes, I find that they cut off. Jimmy was just in here. I don't know if he's still in here. He says that he can get them fishing down on the river. Our river's the Schuylkill in the tidal water, and he says they feed heavily down there. Now I've caught them just below the dam in the Hyatt. I don't give away all my spots publicly, but I caught them in the highest water you can get to, right under the dam, and still be tidal. I've caught them in February, but I don't know. You can probably get them at the lake, but the bite's going to be definitely slow. They're not going to move, and when I do catch them in winter, they are muddy. They're all muddy. So they're laying in soft mud. So wherever you got soft mud and deep leaves, that's probably where they're going to be. That's my educated guess on that one. All Things Country says Mandy just started doing lives. She was an absolute all-star. Oh, I heard she had to like pick up the slack because somebody couldn't go in. I actually went and I watched that. I will get her. Yeah, let's give Mandy's Candy some support here. Let me go on my page real quick and make sure I got her all connected up, and I'll get the notification bell on. Wait, better make sure I do abbreviation because Mandy Candy is a whole different type of site here. Whoa, hang on. Woo. There she is. All right, Mandy's Candy. Yeah. Yeah, I've been there before. And I did watch that live. It was doing that 24-hour thing. And make sure I gave her a like. Yep. Yep. 82 likes. Yeah, actually, you're the one that sent me there, Brad. So, yes. I'm going to put all notifications on, but go ahead and check out. I'm on her page right now. She says, I'm a nurse and I love taking care of people. I have fell in love with silver, golds capitalized, prospecting, and history hunting, detecting. What is mudlarking? I don't know what mudlarking is. Bottle hunting, magnet fishing, coin hunting, silver stacking. Not sure what silver stacking is. And supporting those who love what I love is what makes me smile. Kindness makes my heart grow. Very cool. All right, she's from Ohio, so not too far from me. Very cool. That's your shout out. Mandy's Candy. Make sure you guys connect. When do catfish stop biting? Never. You got to make sure that you're using like the different species. You're fishing, as far as I know, Skeeter, you're chasing channel cats. I definitely feel like the bite drops off big time in lakes and ponds. Jimmy's got a different experience on the rivers. And he might have a point because I went one time last winter and we caught two channels. So I just don't go down. I live pretty far from the river, like in the good fishing area, and it's hard to get up for driving an hour to catch two channels that are polluted that I'm going to let go anyway. What am I doing here? Pickles, barbecue. There are lakes with perch and crappie, even sunfish. What are the differences? What would you land one species versus another? Okay, so where I'm fishing tomorrow, they have both species in the same spot. So let me go on the crappie real quick. So for crappie, they tend to hit anything mimicking live fish, right? So spinners, minnows, lure, any type of lure that's going to little tiny crankbaits tend to be like 1 to 3 inch tops. They're going to be feeding on small fish. Um, you got white crappie, you got black crappie, two different species of crappie. Um, they're always misunderstood and mistaken because if they're bright, people say, "Oh, that's a white crappie," when they're not necessarily. They somewhat cross. I find white crappie like rock bottoms more, black crappie like mud bottoms more. But like anything else, like crappie, especially in Pennsylvania and Jersey, they're stocked heavily, just like trout. Um, so they all get mixed up and they live where they're thrown, basically. But they do also reproduce on their own and they will survive, unlike trout. uh, Slow retrieve, somewhat erratic, works good. They feed up. That's the biggest thing I can tell you. They like to feed up. A crappie's going to hold in the middle of the water column usually. They might be towards the bottom or towards the top, but they're not going to be sitting on the bottom. They're not going to be eating on the bottom. They're going to be looking up, but they're not going to hit top water. So forget the top water, forget dry flies. For the most part, generally speaking, they're going to feed up, but be in the middle of the water column somewhere. Hardest thing with crappie, first of all, they can be really tricky to get the bite. Flies are sometimes really effective under a bobber when they're being picky. And Stacy Bankfish Adventure, he's got them dialed in. Watch how he does it. When they're really being picky, a fly under a bobber and just like a twitch with the bobber, let the bobber settle, because what's happening is the bobber and the fly is here, right? You twitch the bobber, the fly then goes like this, and it goes slow. And then, you can let it sit there a minute and then twitch, and then that's what you're doing. So you want that to go right through the water column like that. 2 to 6 pound line typically, but there's times where people will target crappie in brush piles. Then you might need to go heavier line to get them out of the brush piles. Avoid poppers, avoid top water. They feed up. They have paper mouths, so be careful on setting the hook too hard. Don't pull too hard if you are fishing the heavier line. As far as what they look like, hopefully they're on this board. Yeah, let me get this here. So around me, I don't go on color. Like this one looks like, oh, well, that's a white crappie and that's a black crappie. Forget the color, because the black can be brighter than this one. What I go by is the lines. See how the lines are vertical? To me, around here, that's the most obvious. When you see those lines, regardless of the color, that's a white crappie. When it's more marbled like that, it's a black crappie. And then the dorsals, they have different, you can count the little tines. I don't have time for counting them because I never know which one they stopped counting on because they seem like they just go into nothing. But that's another, the head's shaped slightly different. But let me read and actually educate you guys, because maybe you're better at it than I can. The horizontal or the vertical striping is what tells me. White crappie, body compressed, somewhat elongated, gill cover spiny, silver white sheen, not always. 7 to 9 vertical dusky bars fading towards the tail. Dorsal fin has 6 spines. That's the key. So the 6 spines. Black crappie has 7 to 8 spines. So a little bit more spines on the top, but 6 or 7 is a 2 different species. So the black crappie, body compressed, round outline, so a little more rounded of a fish. Gill cover still spiny. Back green, I guess they mean black green. Sides are silvery. Belly white. Never really noticed that. They called it molted black without the bars. Dorsal fins with 7 to 8 spines. They like lake reservoirs, large ponds, clear streams with cover. 16 inches up to 5 pounds, live minnows, worms, spinners, jigs, and flies. White crappie, lakes, reservoir, large ponds, all the same. Moderate streams with cover. Moderate. Everything else, very similar, very similar. I fish them completely the same, honestly. And again, I tend to jig with those. I don't sit the rod down like I would for perch. Let's see here. Paul lost reception. Water. It is water, man. Hey, Nolan, what's going on? Hello, Bob. Slow and steady wins the race. That's Myra buying space, another member, as is Nolan from Mission Discover. There's Jimmy, straighten out Skeeter. Skeeter, catfish don't stop biting. They feed all winter long. They just go into deep water. I fish for them around 20 to 50 feet of water. Yeah, but I don't know about ponds where you only have 8 feet of water, Jimmy. I think those shut down more. If you don't have that deep water, I truly believe they do go into a semi-hibernation state. We had an albino catfish as a pet in our pond, and he would go lay in the leaves, and I thought he was dead. I think he was dead. He wouldn't eat anything. He'd lay there all winter. And then, I'd be like, oh, he's dead. Pick him up and he'd swim away. So I think sometimes they do go into that state. Does it affect their taste being so muddy? So I kind of fell behind. I'm not exactly sure what species we're talking about with the muddy. It can. I mean, people talk about that muddy flavor with catfish. Some people cut that dark meat off the lateral line. Some old school people even put fish in clear water. I've found that most fish, when prepared right, taste really good. And I personally haven't, experienced. Some are like more muddier than others, I'd say. But a lot of the spots around me are either really clean or fully polluted. So I'm not eating a fish out of a polluted body of water. Mission says I'll be leaving spontaneously. I have to get dinner soon, and then I have an interview for PSU Honors College. Awesome. Penn State's an amazing place. Stuart's in the house. Welcome, Stuart, one of my Shark members, as is Mom and Son Train Rail fans. Welcome. That is Tammy and Ray. Timmy, my avid cousin Timmy. Tim just picked up Mandy. That is awesome. Slab says Wild Japan. Yes, they need to be soaked well. I know some people soak them in like milk to get rid of that. Fresh bait is key. Bluegill or chicken liver. Again, on a bad day in the tidal schuylkill, 5 or 6. On a good day, I get 10 plus. Picking up treasure from the shore and saving silver coins. I think I know it. For once, I think I know what Slap's talking about. Let me go back. Treasure from the shore. So mudlarking is picking up treasures from the shore, and saving silver coins must be silver stacking. All right. Walking in the creek beds or edge of the water looking for treasures. That makes more sense. Gotcha. Drinking my tea, trying to keep my throat working here. Nobody's joining me, Stuart. I just hit that button in case I had any content people come in. Mike, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. On a totally unrelated message, some of you all were in there. Ernie the Hog Snatcher went live today. I don't even think he subbed to me, but he's one of the dudes that got me into YouTube. Like my best friend would send me his videos. And obviously, I watch him because we still yell big takedown. We steal all his words because it's like ingrained in our brains. Like big takedown, that's Ernie the Hog Snatcher. Free groceries, that's Ernie the Hog Snatcher. Maybe he borrowed it from somebody else, but that's where I learned it from. and free roller coaster day. That's Ernie the Hog Snatcher. So he went live. First time I've ever seen him live. So if you want to see an awesome, hilarious dude, go check him out. He's a good dude. He's from Washington, D.C., I believe. ATC said, I was waiting on the wharf for Mandy to come across on a boat Sunday. Instead, I got that other guy. Yeah, Brad had this crazy local come up to him. It was pretty funny. I would second Bob's statement on location of each crappy location. Did I say erotic? Pickles? I don't think I said erotic. I think you heard what you wanted to hear. Erratic. Erratic, not erotic. That could work, though. Gloria Gaynor Crappie, They Will Survive. Right over my head, Paul. I guess that she's the musician's name that sang They Will Survive or I Will Survive. Paul went right over my head with that one. Do crappie feed up under the ice? Catch a few ice fishing, but they seem to be more rare. Unlike, I don't know why they wouldn't still feed up, but I've caught some ice fishing, jigging 12 inches off the bottom. And I usually fish like mealworms or maggots is I think when I would catch them most often. Again, I probably could have done better with a minnow, but when I put minnows on, I tend to drop it down to the bottom and forget it. And I'm going for pickerel or pike at that point, or bass or muskie. And then I'll use, in Pennsylvania, you're allowed 5 holes. So I'll drill 5 holes at least. And I'll only jig like one, and then I'll put tip ups in the other. So the tip ups, I'll tend to throw, if I got minnows, I'll put minnows on all of them. I'm more likely to hook up on something good on a minnow than anything else. But then when I'm jigging, a lot of times we covered ice fishing last week. Go back and look at the last Q&A for that. But basically, I'll jig like, what's the silver spoon with a little bit of red? It's like a spoon that you can tip with minnow or worm, but I tend to tip them with mealworms or maggots or something like that. Hey, Mo Style, welcome, welcome. Here we have brown, rainbow, bull, tiger, trout, and kokanee. Awesome. We have, here in Pennsylvania, browns are wild. They're not native, but we have them, they will reproduce, so they're wild. We have brook trout. They're considered native. Some are stocked, obviously, but brook trout are native to Pennsylvania. They will reproduce. Unfortunately, browns tend to take them out, so they don't do well together. The browns will take out the brookies usually. And then we have rainbow trout that are stocked. Rainbow trout will hold over in certain areas, especially upstate. Brown trout are stocked and do pretty well because they withstand warmer temperatures. And then we have what's the crossover tiger trout. I don't think we have the bulls, and I don't believe we have the kokanees in any type of numbers. We had kokanee in Alaska, though. But I'm talking about in Pennsylvania. Numbskull in the house. What's going on? We've been live 48 minutes, so I was just shooting for about an hour. So I'll wrap this up in about 10 minutes. Wanted to get all the info out there for people watching the rewatch, but I'll hang out for another, 10, 15 minutes here. Jimmy says, white crappie have bigger foreheads than black crappie, I found. Jimmy, you're looking at their heads too close, man. Jimmy says, white crappie have bigger foreheads. That's what this shows. It almost looks like the black ones do on that, but like I said, for me personally, I go by those bars as like my telltale sign. I always forget if like people are like, oh, you can tell by the spines, but I'm like, oh, it's 6 or 7. 6 means this. I'm like, and I forget. I'm pretty dumb, so I like to keep it simple. The bars always work for me. That's what I go by. Tie-by. Hey, welcome in, buddy. Appreciate that. Love your channel 100. Awesome. If you got content, Ty-By, please leave a comment on one of my videos and I'll make sure I connect back to you. I appreciate that. ATC says, welcome, Ty-By. They both taste exactly, Slap. That's how I tell them apart. I put them on a dish and then I'll eat them. And yeah, they both taste great. I have creators in the house. Tapping in to hit the like. I appreciate that. Uh-oh, we got one of these symbols here. I don't know what that means. Yo, $5. That means somebody either joined up or gave me a super chat. Let's see. Man, I'm so far behind. Hey, Georgia, welcome, welcome. Now, I don't know if that means Georgia just gave me 5 buckaroonies or if he joined up. I still get confused a little bit with the vertical lives, but I appreciate that either way. Remember, a membership's only 99 cents. So hopefully you got a membership, because you can see so much more stuff. And as soon as our memberships grow, like the goal is to go more and more member only on the lives. And I want to get back to shooting more videos and less public lives. But when I do, I fish a lot. So, I fish every day, multiple times a day, and I go live at night. I'm live a lot. But let me get back. I don't want to miss anybody. Daniel Burry, I saw him. Rocall's Cabin's in the house. Rocall's Cabin, another awesome channel. Steve's hanging out still. Let me try to get caught up here. It's a lot like Massachusetts. The brook trout are only found in small streams. Yeah, our brookies, is that what I called them? Did I call them something else? Brook trout is what I meant to say. I don't know what I said. But yeah, brook trout are in the more tinier streams, the brook trout are in. But the brownies get into those tiny spots now too, and they'll wipe out those guys. Jerry's in the house, Jamaican Shore Fishing. Welcome, welcome. See some spoon talk. Spooning comes up a lot in our chats, and I'm not sure why. I blame Skeeter for that. Skeeter brings up a lot of spooning activity, glory hole talk, ice fishing. Like in his mind, when you go ice fishing, you're gonna fall in, and you're gonna have to find somebody to spoon. He brings it up every time we talk about ice fishing, so I'm not real eager to go ice fishing with him. You know what I mean? Thanks, George. I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for the 5 buckaroonies. Mama Cookie's in the house. Yeah, pickles, right on. Fish identification gets harder as there are more hybrids, especially, well, I'm not saying especially, for me, panfish, sunfish. Holy cow, man. As soon as you think you got them down, you catch something else. Like pumpkin, you got pumpkin seeds, you got red breast sunfish, you got bluegill, you got green sunfish around here. But they all, they all get it on. And you get a bunch of hybrids. But for me, like the bluegills have the tiny mouths, the greenies have the big mouths. Again, that's information that's relevant to my area. Maybe not relevant to everyone else's. George, they're still trying to figure out the membership. All right, I appreciate that. I wish it wasn't so complicated. It depends if you're on an iPhone, if you're on a phone or a laptop. I wish they would make it easier. It stinks and people are trying to join and they can't figure it out. All things country. What's going on, buddy? Great advice. I have no idea what advice I gave, but the last thing I gave was glory hole advice. Love sharing the fishing with everyone. Please all connect to Mandy Brown. 7758 is her handle. She's an awesome community supporter. I'm looking right at her page right now, guys. This is her. Mandy's Candy. She's got 1,260,000 subs. She's got 216 videos. So she's got a lot of stuff there. She's got long videos. She's got some shorts. Gold smile right there. She just started doing live. So That's awesome. Let's see if she got some playlists. She's got some playlists, so you can hit that, give her some watch hours. And she's she's got some community posts. So she's all in right here on YouTube. Good for her. Okay, turn this back around. Okay. Get caught up here. Stuart is always willing to help people out, man. Stuart calls people all the time to help them out on YouTube if they're struggling with something, trying to find something. He will. He's like the YouTube IT department. Pickle says, "What do you recommend for basic essential setup for crappie and their perching or perch fishing?" And you have links. So tomorrow I'm going to fish. Let me show you what I'm going to fish. For crappie, I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do. Again, the size of the jig head that you're going to use, where's my good box? There we go. It's going to depend on the water conditions, right? You have current, how deep is it, how fast you want it to drop, stuff like that. I'm going to go with a double hook angling jig like this. And then Strike King, Mr. Crappie, the sparkle blue, white. This is what you'll see me fishing with tomorrow for crappie. If I find like I need more weight, I'm just going to put a heavier jig on. That's what I'm going to start throwing. You want a bobber that goes under pretty easily. It's just, it'll float if you want it. You know, you don't have to use the bobber. You can just retrieve it, right? You can do vertical jigging. But then you throw this on, if you know, to try a different technique, especially if there's some breeze and some chop on the water, it'll actually give it action just like this, you know? So sometimes you sit a bobber out there, and especially if there's wind, people are like, oh, that's just sitting there, right? I better move it. But think about it, that water's moving, right? That thing's moving. And look at this tail, right? That's in air. In water, it'll move even more. So that's going to get a bite. So that's going to be my go-to tomorrow. All these jigs right here with the feather, they'll work too. They'll work too. You can go to a bunch of people and watch them just slay crappie. I'm a multi-species guy, so I like these jigs because I can turn around and throw a worm on them and throw them out for perch, you know. And I'll probably do that. For perch, I'll probably do the same thing. Probably a heavier jig, or if I'm using the same rod, I'll just throw an extra split shot on there. Trout magnet will work as well. I'm not a big Euro. Where's my little red ones? I'm not a big Euro tackle guy, but there is a tiny little jig that double hook angling made me. And so I'm going to rig that up right now. I want to see if it fits. Because what happens is, like, when I get out on the water, I tend to just go to my confident lure, my confidence baits, and I don't try new things. When I sit here in the basement, I'm like a mad scientist. I'm like, oh, that'll work. But so, like, look how that moves. It moves a lot easier than the other lures. And I think it's that little circle right there. You guys know Extreme Philly Fishing. He's a local guy to me. Huge channel. I haven't seen him around recently, actually. I hope he's doing good. That's Leo. I've met him in person several times. Awesome guy. I like him. I like the dude. He seems like a cool dude. I think he's the real deal. Slimy little devils. Look at that. I think that's going to work perfect right there. So that's definitely going to be one of my go-tos tomorrow. Something like that for the crappie. 4 to 6 pound line. I've got 2 pound on. That's what I'm going to be using. So basically a trout setup. I'm a multi-species guy. I preach flexibility. You know, I'm not the type of person that's waiting 3 weeks to go fish for perch, a special trip. If you're that person, do your own research, dial it in. That stuff's really, it just takes time. But heck, if you're only fishing once a week or anything, you got the whole week to prepare. I'm trying to give you good information, but at the same time, I'm also trying to teach people to think on their feet. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can adapt your presentation. You can grab your trout rod out of your trunk, catch a crappie perch real easy with just a couple slight differences. I do not have any links, but I mean you can Google that and search and find 100 of them. But you're looking at 4 to 6. I started the live by going over that. So if you want to see all that stuff, just go back and watch the beginning. But it's basically size 4 to 6 hook would work for both. Perch are going to be on the bottom. Crappie are going to be in the column feeding up. 2 to 6 pound line for crappie. So 4 pound line will catch either one. It's just a matter of fishing the bottom or the top. The light line helps you cast further too. So keep that in mind. You can cast a real slight. If the crappie are being real picky, sometimes you got to downsize, and that light line will allow you to cast a lot further. On the other side of things, brush pile, you have to go heavy line so you can get it out of the brush pile. I need a drink. Yo, Kelly, what's going on, bro? I miss you guys. Let me get you a wrench. I wrenched everyone up since you've been in last. Add as a moderator, standard mod. The Bullock Experience, that's Kelly. He used to do his own show, and he's a heck of a creek fisherman. I'm gonna say creek fisherman. He has a lot of the same style that I do. Goes live in creeks and can kind of catch just about anything. Hope you're doing good. Hope your family's doing good. Good to see you, Kelly. Go here. Slab says to join, touch the money sign in the lower right-hand corner. It gives you 4 different options, and I forgot I added the 4th. And don't feel bad about that 4th. That was Steve's fault. He made me do that. She is also just a fantastic person. We're talking about Mandy's Candy. Mama Cookie's in the house. They're all trying to help. They're all trying to help Georgia join. I appreciate that. Hit the $sign in the bottom corner. Third one down says unlock membership. It's weird jargon. Why would it say that? I don't know how to put a link, Stuart. I don't know how to put a link to your memberships in here. Let me see. YouTube Studio. I think I got to go into the studio. Got to go to Earn. I got to go to memberships. I got to go add membership link and do start. Save. Join this channel. I don't know if this will work, but I'll give it a shot. It doesn't look like it's working. Let me sit you over here for a second. This was for Georgia. I'm not guilting anybody into a membership. Georgia asked them. I would love to have Georgia Times join in so they can catch the Monday lives. Live. There I am. Getting a commercial. Paste. I put the stupid things on there so all I see are hearts. Pin. All right. I think if I did it right, I just pinned it up there. I think that's the link for my memberships. God only knows if I did it correct. but that's my shot at it. Let's see, just touch the dollar sign. So the bond. Skeeter said, so for the pond, Bob, channel catfish, should I go straight to the bottom or 2 feet up? For channel cats, I'd go straight to the bottom this time of year. Yeah, I'd go right to the bottom. I think I was talking to you, Skeeter, about a drop shot. That was when you were fishing and you were bringing up all that grass. I think that's when I suggested, maybe a drop shot to get it above that. No, Pickles. I don't do the affiliate links. I'm very careful on sponsorship. As a former professional athlete, I am sick and tired of being bought and sold and watching people who are bought and sold selling stuff that, it's crap, but, I will only entertain that idea if there's no strings attached. I get to review it. I get to tell people what it is, what I think of it. Then I'll consider it. But I can't be bought or sold, what is that song? I want to play it so bad right now, so you get the joke, but I can't because I'll get demonetized. Some of you know what short I'm talking about. Actually, it was a video. It was my the video that Yogi, the vegan, joined our membership on, the venison sausage video. I got paid. I didn't get paid. I got free stuff from one of the companies. This was Super Clean. It's made in USA. It's a great cleaner. I do use it. Already in full disclosure, I already had the stuff, but they gave me like 3 new bottles of it. So sure, I did a video on it. And I was joking about not being bought or sold. Meanwhile, I had the I had the shirt, I had the hat on already. Yeah, I think Leo got. I think Leo's involved with that bait shop, the shop that was sponsoring him. Yeah, his videos were killing it, man. And then all of a sudden they just dropped off. He has a lot going on, man. He's got a lot going on. He's got family that's had some health issues. So I've met him many times. I fished with him. I have nothing. I love the guy. I said that on Facebook one time and I got all this hatred thrown at me. And I don't know where people come up with that crap, but I'll tell you this, the more successful you get, the more haters you get, So I can only go on what I know. And I meet people in person. So somebody's telling me that he does this or he has this. Well, I don't know, man. I fished with the guy. I met the guy. He seems legit. And who, somebody's on their, keyboard warrior telling me stuff about him. I'm not buying it, I won't judge it. I like the dude. Steve, at certain times my wife tells me I'm the man. Yeah, I can guess what those times are, Rod. Pay for the YouTube app to get a membership. So do I have to pay for the YouTube app to get them? You should not have to pay for anything through YouTube. YouTube is totally free unless you want to buy some other level. And the membership should only cost you 99 cents to get in the door. I'm your only sub. Let me look you up, Ty-Bye. Let me see what's going on in your channel, man. Appreciate you coming in here. Let me go over to my chat. We have a great community here, and we're all about like sharing. I'm big on, mental health and things like that. But I'm also big on following your passion, which I believe is connected. A lot of my depression and anxiety and stuff like that comes from not following passion. I can't be normal. I can't work a 9 to 5. God, I did it for a long time, but I never felt right. I've raced bikes for a living. I've guided in Alaska for a living. I don't know how to live without following my passion. So that's really important to me. And even if you got to do it on the side, it helps get you by if you can hit the creek and you got to work a crappy job to put food on the table. Did it for years. Let me see what we're doing here. Content. Oh, I need to go to straight up YouTube. I need to go to my live. Why can't I find my live? There we are. I couldn't find you. Hey, Ty-Bye, $1 Rooney from Ty-Bye. I appreciate that, buddy. I'm going to go to your channel right now. Hang on. Go to channel. All right. So let's see. You joined in 2022. No content yet. So what I would say to do, and I'm not an expert, I'm just trying to give you the advice that I know. I put out a short or something, just saying who you are and what you're going to do with the channel. That way you can start getting some subs, right? You're up to 5 already. What happens in the YouTube world is if you don't have any content and somebody tries to connect to you, a lot of times that sub or that contact will fall off the next day. Like you have 5 tonight. Tomorrow you'll look at it, you'll probably have 3 or 2. It'll be different because this AI that they run thinks that there's bots or things like that. If you want to get people to connect and for those connections to stick, you want to have a video. And then you want people to go to your channel. You want them to watch your video, at least for a couple minutes, hit the thumbs up, and then leave a comment. That sub will then stick, right? You got that person as a subscriber, it should stick. So it doesn't have to be a great video. That's the problem people make with YouTube. They think you got to have this like professional. Nobody's coming to YouTube to see professional stuff. You can either have a professional game or just be you. Anyone in the middle is not going to make it, right? People come for the crap show, for the fails. They want to see a greasy chick, greasy kitchen. Miss talking all the time. This is Skeeter's fault. They want to see all the imperfections. They want to see real people doing real things. That's why they come to YouTube. Otherwise, you got all the fake crap on TV. Real people doing real things is why people come to watch us on YouTube. So just keep that in mind. Slabby, Northeast Slab Hunter. Now we've got 2 Pennsylvania slabs in here. I don't know what to do. Talking about slab hunters and crappie fishermen, let me add you as a mod. I probably should have brought this dude up on panel with me. Northeast Slab Hunter is a big-time crappie fisherman. I'm so far behind. I think I already did that, Stuart. Skeeter. What is wrong with you, Skeeter? Skeeter's going to come in here and tell me he's got heavy rain all day tomorrow. I was in your live, Skeeter. You know what he told me? Oh, man, it's going to rain down there. It's going to be beautiful here. And I told you and Mrs. Skeeter to look up the forecast. And then Mrs. Skeeter had to tell you it's going to rain tomorrow, Mr. Skeeter. And then you started asking her 50,000 questions about what time, what percentage, when, where, how. It's going to rain all stinking day, man. Yeah, iPhones. Can I be a godlike mod? What are you talking about? Pouring down here, Skeeter. Steve doesn't live far from me, so I better look out my window. I'm in the basement. Awesome. Ty-Bye got a sub from Mr. Rod Wilson. All right, Ty, I'm going to give you, I don't normally do this, but you gave me $1 and you've been hanging out for a while. I'm going to give you a wrench, which I'm going to add you as a standard mod. What that allows you to do is it allows you to click on anybody in this chat and go to their channel. So that's a really good way to get a sub back. And it's not really sub for sub. I don't like to think of it that way. Go out there, look at their channel, read their about page. Let me see what you got. So step 1 for you, Ty-Bye, is I'd write an about page. I don't know if you're into basketball or fishing. And it doesn't matter. You could be in everything. But if you have a page in mind, I would come up with an about section, fill that out. And so when you go to a channel, what you can do is you click on their name in this chat, for example, go to their channel, check them out, see what they're about. If that interests you, watch a video, comment, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you leave a comment, because more times than not, these content creators will thank you, but often go visit you. And I would say 50% of the time, if not more, on small channels, they're going to connect back to you and they're going to subscribe to you. You'll get more subscribers that way than you will putting out your own video that you spent 3 weeks editing. I hate to say it, that's just the way it is. You want to get up to 50 subs, you want to go live, you're going to build up your channel that way. But don't be in a rush to grow so fast that you lose your vision, because YouTube's weird. Algorithms are weird. This is going to go into a professional YouTube rant here, but so be it. How YouTube works with this algorithm basically is they'll send your video out, right? They send it out to your subscribers. If like a lot of those people don't give you a thumbs up, that's where it ends, right? So if it goes, say they send it out to 10 people, 8 of those 10 people give it a thumbs up, it's going to then go out to people that they watch. That's how the algorithm feeds, right? So you only want people that really watch your stuff and enjoy your stuff. Otherwise, if they just sub to sub, they're actually going to hurt. They can actually hurt your channel in the long run by not watching your stuff when it comes out. The AI is going to say, oh, nobody wants to see that. When that's not the case, it's just people sub to you to sub to you. That being said, this is a fishing community. If you're going to do fishing, you're going to get a lot of great support. These guys are awesome in here. We were talking crappie tonight. I said I was going to do an hour as usual, or an hour and 16 already. I talked about perch and crappie basically, is what I covered tonight. I asked you a question, Bob. I wasn't sure if you've seen it. Oh, gosh, Skeeter. You're getting like Stewart. You're getting like Stewart. Now let me go back and find your question. Heavy rain. So for the pond, Bob Channel Cafe, should I go straight? I answered that question, Skeeter. Re-ask it if that's not the question. I said go right to the bottom. Come on, Skeeter. Too many Skeeter snacks tonight. Let's see. Sign up for at least Amazon affiliate. You can set up a template for video descriptions. Yeah, I don't know, because what I heard on that, Pickles, is you have to, every time you put out a video, you got to do it on the desktop, because you got to put the affiliate link in there. And I can't do that on my Android. So it's like, that's a major pain in the butt for me, because I put out shorts while I'm playing with the kids outside, or I'm at the creek fishing with Kevin, not filming, which we sometimes do. And I'll do them that way. I appreciate that, but I mean, I looked into that. It seemed like a pain in the butt. Night crawlers. What did I miss? It just comes out with night crawlers. OB always ignores me. Sigh. Get out of here, Rod. What are you talking about? I don't ignore you. All right, I think I've reached the end of the internet. Speaking of ignoring, see, I read your post on Facebook, Rod. Get out of here. You told me I reached the end of the internet when I read your post the other night on Facebook. But this is probably the fake Rod Wilson anyway. He got hacked on Facebook. So if you guys get any weird messages from Rod, it might be the clone. It might not be the real Rod. I hope I'm caught up. I was playing with the chat here. Hey, I'm not caught up, so my chat has froze again. I got another $2 from my buddy Ty Bye. Awesome, buddy. I appreciate that, man. See, now this chat freezing up drives me up a wall. Slab, years ago, I caught a monster Beltsville. That's where my dad lives. We used to fish Beltsville all the time when he was in better health. but I caught about a 3.5 pound yellow perch up there. That was probably 20 years ago now. But hopefully you're not going on the ice, man. I don't think that's even when the winter's good, that ice is shifty. I hope you're not going on the ice, and I'm sure there's a good bit of ice up there. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you know what you're doing, but me personally, I think I know what I'm doing, but then my brain shuts down and I'll drive 2 hours somewhere thinking, it's been 60 degrees for 3 days. And I find out that it's ice, but not safe to walk on and you can't fish. So I just don't want you to, don't be like me. Tie-by, so can I post videos without? Yeah, you can post videos. You can post shorts. You can just shoot them on your phone and then upload them pretty easily right on your phone. You don't even need a desktop. You need 50 people to go live. Once you get 50, it takes like a week or two for YouTube to check you out. I don't remember. It's been a while since I was at that step, but they check a few things in the background, and then you have the ability to go live soon after that. You just get a ton more people going live than you will any other way. But my advice is to kind of have an idea what you want to do with your channel and stay somewhat, I won't say consistent, but stay true to what your channel's about. Like, what's your vision? I'm trying to think of the word they use that in marketing. I've been out of that industry for a while now. Brand. What's your brand? Like for me, I think my brand is you're going to find somebody who does things does things kind of on the cheap way, entry level, catch and cook type person, homes like strengthen like homesteading, a lot of catch and cooks, a lot of recipes, multi-species. They're kind of the key things. So I try to do things that are going to stick with that. Now, if you say, I'm a shark fisherman, and then your first 3 videos are on trout, people are going to be like, what the heck? So, you can say that, I do all kinds of things, and then you can do all kinds of things, but just stay true to what your brand is. YouTube definitely likes specific things though, which is boring. Like in fact, with a lot of the hunting, that's why I'm going over to, I'm going over to TikTok and I'm going over to Rumble for a lot of my hunting stuff because unless YouTube changes some of the rules with hunting, I can't hunt live. I can't do any of that stuff. 4 out of my 10 hunting videos have been taken down. So I can't do a lot of that stuff that I want to do. So I'm just going to upload them on Rumble. Don't write a channel description or about page like me. YouTube only allows #1 me. What are you talking about? You get caught up here. Yeah, you can make videos on your phone. So you have the ability to record on your phone, right? 10 minutes, whatever storage you have on that. And you can go to YouTube or YouTube Studio. You can get both of those on your phone and upload them straight up. I think where you were going wrong, just to be honest with you, Steve, I think you were going in as a short, and then it only gives you an option for like 15 seconds or 60 seconds. But then I saw you had a 3-minute. I'm paying attention to you. I watch all your stuff, Steve. Then you were, you figured out the 3-minute, right? So I don't know where you went for that. For me to do a 3-minute, I have to upload that through YouTube Studio. So you should be able to do a long format video the same way. It won't make it a short, obviously, because it's over that 3-minute threshold. But that should be a video. You don't have to edit it. You can get editing software. There are free softwares available, but that adds a whole other element to it. If you're going to be a live fisherman, you may not even need to worry about that because editing, it could be fun for some people. It's a lot of work up front. It was for me. It was a lot of work up front, figuring out all the editing stuff. I'm not going to lie. I spend $20 a month. I use Pandora. I ended up spending $20 a month because it allows me to edit and have fun doing it. But that's me. I enjoy editing. I enjoy watching our experiences. Like I'll fish with my kids and we'll go on some epic weekend trip. We'll each have our own GoPro, so I may not even see what he saw, and it gives me a chance to see the trip through his eyes, and it's awesome. But the clone can't mod himself. I don't know. I don't know what the rod clone's capable of or what he's not capable of. 3.5. I think the state record came out of there right after that or right before that. Yeah, and that's the only perch I've ever caught over a pound. I can show you. You guys want to see a perch on my wall? Let me know. I stuffed a perch once, not the big one, obviously, but a little one that I caught. I was practicing taxidermy. You want to go see? I'll go show that to you before I shut it down if you want. Yeah, Wild Japan. I think going live in Japan with like you have our community. Obviously, you're a big part of the community. I think ever since the fishing tournament we all participated in. Kieran, it's Kieran's channel. Oh man, can't think of where's Kieran been? But you know what I'm talking about, the Winter Fishing Challenge with Kieran. None of us, you're the only channel I have in Japan. So I think you do more lives and you communicate with the audience. Don't worry about fishing so much. Just go live, be fishing. Hopefully, if you're a fishing channel or talking about fishing, and just interact with the audience, you're gonna get a lot from that. Only takes 24 hours to get a background check from YouTube now. And it took me almost a month. My tea's cold. My throat's killing me. I'm not going to stay on much longer. I talk a lot on my lives. I fish 4 hours a day. I sit there and talk. Half the time I don't have my microphone set up yet, so I got to scream to you guys. Cat and Jack, welcome in. Goldsboro and the Pocono Plateau had a little ice, but not really safe. Wind and rain just killed that. Yup. Yeah. Down here, we don't have any safe ice anywhere, obviously, but we got ice just annoying enough that you can't cast. And you know what's funny is like the ice forms in these little creeks and little lakes that I fish. The ice seems to form the deepest spots, the best spots where all the fish have now migrated to. And some of the creeks that I've been ice fishing in or trout fishing in, you can see the trout right under the ice and they just will not come out into the open. And it's just frustrating. We've gotten at them. If I wasn't live, I'd be thrilled about those days. Like today, we caught 5 trout. But when I go live for 4 hours and I catch 5 trout, I'm like, you know, everybody's bored with me. Everybody's looking and they're just, you know, what the heck? This guy stinks. That's all I can think of. Making people smile. That's the way I should have started, but that was much different. You can also do some shorts and long form version to gain your 50 subs. Then by the time you go live, you have them. Yep. Crappie videos are huge, aren't they? YouTube is frustrating. I was getting like up to 10,000 views on my shorts pretty regularly, real consistently. And then the vertical thing went, right? All of a sudden they wanted you to go vertical. And I went from having like 200 people in my lives to like 3 in a row, legitimate 92,000 views, 36,000 views, 30,000 views, 3 lives in a row. At the same time, my shorts went from 10,000 views to 400. So now every short I do, I max out at like 400, 450. Every once in a while, one breaks through that wall. So like, I think the end game's the same. You know, like, I don't know if they ever, like, I feel like they have every YouTuber budgeted out for a certain amount and they'll mix it all up to keep you interested, but that's about it. But YouTube's great. I'm not going to badmouth YouTube. YouTube's a great form. Love YouTube. You're the best YouTube. But I think my takeaway is play with every feature they have come out. When shorts came out, everybody said, don't do shorts. Don't do shorts. It'll kill your channel. Then when the vertical came out, don't do verticals. It kills your channel. It kills your channel. I don't buy that. I think you do everything that comes out. You have your bread and butter and you stick to what works for you. But I would definitely dabble in all because I'd be afraid to miss the bus and all of a sudden you're done. We're vertical tonight. Our channel, the folks that are in our community, especially my members, we put out a lot of polls, like a week, 2 weeks in a row. I was driving this point every day. And I came to the understanding that my folks like the horizontal layout. I think it's because they're all sitting in their chairs and they like to take a nap when I'm out fishing. And they like to see me on the TV and they put their kids to sleep and they take naps. But whatever the reason, they like that format. So that's my bread and butter. I go live 10 to 2 in the horizontal format. But when you go vertical, you meet new people. I'll probably get 10 new subs tonight. If I get one sub on a horizontal, it's been a great day. I just don't get them. I don't get the views. I don't get the what. I don't get anything. I get everything vertical. Except what pays the bills is average watch time. And my average watch time on these type lives will be maybe 2 minutes, sometimes 30 seconds. And on my horizontals, they're 20 to 30-minute views. So there's a lot of numbers. So don't just say, oh, I got more views. Don't be caught up in like how many views I got. But you know what? None of that really matters because everybody gets involved and all they do is stare at numbers. If you're staring at numbers, you're not putting out the content you care about. My plan is literally to do whatever I feel like doing on YouTube for 2 years, having as much fun as I can, enjoying the content, doing what I really want to do. At 2 years, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to take an analytical look at things. And then maybe I'll make some analytical decisions on what we do going forward. But I think if you're not having fun, how is anyone watching your channel going to have fun? That's my personal view. Nice steady rain now, Steve says. Hey, Matt, amateur angler. I'm going to get caught up and get out of here. I've been going live too long. My kids are probably wondering where I am here. I'm going to try to catch up and get out. I first started. Matt, amateur angler says, yeah, when I very first started, I bought stuff, but use iMovie app now. Yeah, whatever you get comfortable with. I used Pandora free for a long time. And then I paid for it because it became a lot easier for me. I like using it. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm sure there's others out there, but I'm not ready to learn anything new at this moment. Sunfish King is Kieran. That's what I meant. Jeez, I'm an idiot. Sunfish King. Bank Fishing Adventures there, Stacy. Stacy, I wish you were in earlier. I was looking for you. I said the crappie expert here would be Stacy, Bank Fishing Adventures, but I did my best to cover white and black crappie tonight and yellow perch. World record 4.5 other day. Yeah, 4.5. The world record I have in this book, but somebody said no longer counted, was 4 pounds, 3 ounces, Delaware River in New Jersey in 1865. But someone told me they erased that because it was too long ago. That's like the high school records. Not to go on another tangent, but my wife was a really good swimmer and had all kinds of records in her school. And what they did was they took all the records off the board. They were there for like years. They took them all off maybe 5-10 years ago so that the newer generation could feel better about themselves. Disgusting. Has to be on my community page. Got it. I'll post it up. I mean, I post it on my community links all the time. The problem with posting it too often is, people take that the wrong way, Stuart. That's why I don't like anyone saying, hey, you should join Bob's channel. I don't like that stuff because people don't want to be pushed into something. They're here to have fun. they'll find it. If they want to join, they'll find it. I will sneak it into a community post soon, but yeah. Dice is great with bourbon. Yeah, he did a live once or twice and always ended up slow day. That's the problem, man. Slabby. When I'm fishing, like I fish live every day, and the challenge is like there's days where you want to play with something, you want to check out a new spot, and you're going live, and then all of a sudden you're like you feel that pressure come on, like I better perform, but you're like you want to just go out and try something new. Um, so like you're always mentally struggling with that, like I'm prepared to catch nothing, and then meanwhile you got 30 people in there like, what are you doing, man? Catch something already. Um, I'm not sure exactly where you live northeast. I'm guessing you live somewhere up in the northeast, but Skeeter's up by Knoble, so he's probably up your way. I don't know if you guys know each other. Oh yeah, if you want to have good shorts, try having a guy in the shower beat on a bunch of drums on buckets and catch fish in the foreground, like ATC. You just move your ball to 500. Oh my God, the horseman, it's great. I take down videos just to keep my views down. I don't want people to expect me to impress them regularly. Once a year is enough. There's something to be said for that, Slab. Keep the expectations low and no one will ever be disappointed with you. My viewers are all in their armchair falling asleep. Tell me you're building your channel around. Brad, I'm not. That's exactly who I had in my mind because he pops up live. And I'll tell you all this because we have some membership. If you're a member of my channel, every Monday, now every other Monday, we go live, members only every Monday. But every other Monday we have a panel where all the members can come up live and fish or hang out. Rod pops in there on his lazy boy, and we're all freezing our butts off. Some of us are in snow and ice, and Rod's up there sifting the hottie toddy, sipping on his hottie toddy, watching us. Usually giving us a hard time. Raising hot dogs, living in a tent. Northeast Slab, you need to marry a chemist. Gotta have fun with it. It doesn't pay enough not to have fun. You already given me obesity. What are you talking about, Mike? Ted's in off the hook outdoors. I'm trying to get out of here. I'm going to sum this up quick as soon as I get caught up. Ted, we're covering the state. If you don't know Ted from Off the Hook Outdoors, he's out from Pittsburgh area. Stop watching my videos, can prolong life. Mikey's in the house. Welcome in, Mike. How'd you make out today, MVP? Another awesome member right there. Slab is one of the best supporters on YouTube. He's everywhere, man. I feel like he's always in my channel, and then I'll go to somebody else's channel, and you know what they say? Slab's always in here. Slab's everywhere. He's got like 50 computers. To have shorts always perform well, you got to edit them like a video. Yep. Rod's a great dude, and honestly, being part of the inside jokes and all the fun here is worth the 99 cents. Rod's awesome. Rod feels like a family member. I said like everybody's family, but you know what I mean? Like Rod feels like the uncle. No, I mean, he's a great family. He feels like a family member. Also, don't do shorts off of lives. The quality is garbage. Good lives are 720. Are like 720 when you do a short from them. Yeah, I know that, Ted. But like I said, if you do a professional short, like you got to do the time risk reward equation, and it's not there. It's just not there. So you can run yourself into a ground and not have any fun doing it. PA in the house. Up fish heads in here. Time for me to leave. Ray, welcome in, buddy. Jay Fishing's in the house, but I'm going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate y'all coming in here. If you didn't hit the thumbs up, because 46 has been up there for a while now, please hit the thumbs up. I would appreciate it. We talked about yellow perch and crappie, especially in the first 45 minutes. So if that's interests you in actually learning about it, and it wasn't just me talking, I actually did some research and talking points. I've been fishing for my whole life, but I always, when I do these Q&As, I always go to my source. Since I've been about 12 years old, I base a lot of the stuff on the Complete Guide to Freshwater Fishing. I love this book. So I always fact check myself just to make sure I'm not omitting any silly things that's worth telling you about. So my information comes from experience and then fact checked by that book. So if you do want to see what I said about that, again, not saying I'm a professional at perch or crappie, but it's probably worth going back and listening to. You might pick up a thing or two if you're fishing for them and you're kind of new to those species. Slab. I appreciate all you guys. Thank you very much, Georgia. Tie bye. Thanks for the buckaroonies here. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys have tie bye. He's probably our newest member to the channel or newest member hanging out in here. He's probably been watching my stuff, but I never saw him in a live, so I appreciate that. And we'll catch you on the next one. If my basement's not underwater in the morning, perch and crappie, 10 a.m. tomorrow. Peace out.